Hey guys, what's going on? It is your good buddy Sam, and it's time for another exciting Max tutorial, this time with Max 8. It's a very exciting day. Max 8 is finally here. I know that I feel very excited about it. It's one of the big reasons that I'm excited to start making videos again. You're right, it's been a very long time. I don't want to say that I felt like I had hit the skill ceiling with Max 7. In fact, nothing could be further from the truth. But I did feel like I kind of knew where the ceiling was, so to speak. I had a sense of what you could do with Max 7 if you worked at it enough. And with Max 8, I feel like I don't even know where the new ceiling is, if the new ceiling even exists. So I'm excited to be back into it and exploring some of the stuff that you can do. So let's look at one of those things, which is the new MC system. Now, I've been told that MC does not stand for multi-channel, that in fact MC stands for MC. It's sort of like E.E. Cummings, I guess. Is that true? The E.E. and E.E. Cummings... How many M's in Cummings? Let's assume there are 4. I'm pretty sure the E's in E.E. Cummings just stand for E.E. But anyway, what MC does is basically lets you take... It's amazing, honestly. It lets you take objects and sort of duplicate instances of those objects in place and then wrap multiple audio connections through one audio cable. So I'll show you what I mean. If you do something like, mc.noise tilde at chans 100, and you connect that to whatever, who cares, it doesn't matter, times tilde, whatever. When you draw this connection, it's going to come out as this sort of blue patch cord, and when you hover over it, you can see how many channels of audio are actually in that connection. And then if you hover over it with audio on, you can actually see, looking at this little probe here, the audio that's in every one of those channels. You only can see 16 channels at a time, but you push space and you can see more and more channels. It's just supremely cool, and one of the nicest parts about working with Max 8. I'm going to show you now some of the cool... You might think, MC, I only have 2 speakers, what do I need multi-channel for? But the thing is that you can do with multi-channel a lot of the stuff that you could do with poly tilde, just much faster, more fluidly, and really kind of the sound design possibilities with MC are just really, really rich. So I'll show you what I mean. Let's start by making a couple of buffer objects. We'll go with some old classics. We'll go with our Anton.aif, that's a classic, and a buffer tilde. We'll go with, what's the other one I wanted to work with? That's right, jongly.aif. These are, of course, 2 built-in sounds in Max. They've been built in since who knows how long. And if I make a groove tilde, Anton, and connect this to a sig tilde, and then connect that to an easy DAC, we should be able to hear the output of this thing. What a classic sound. Boy, oh boy, it is one of my favorites. So what you can do with this, with MC, all you have to do to get an MC object is prefix, I think literally any DSP object with MC will give you one of these objects that is really just multiple grooves bound together. And then the really slick thing that you can do is come in here with something like, say we have a sig tilde, just like before, but instead of sending that audio to, instead of having all of these MC groove objects play the same pitch, maybe I'll want them all to play slightly different pitches. So what I'm going to do is take this sig here, and, well, first let's just connect these in a way that might be familiar. So you connect the toggle to a sig like this, you throw in a route pass 0, and this is a pretty classic configuration for groove. It just makes it so that you can start and stop this groove by hitting that toggle. And I'm also putting an mc.dac down here, mc.easydac. This is the same. So this is called mc.dac, easydac. An insane amount of acronyms for one object, mc.easydac. But it's a regular easy DAC, except there's only one input and it takes a multi-channel output, as if from one of these new multi-channel, sorry, not multi-channel, MC objects. This is a configuration you might be familiar with. Hit the toggle and play this MC groove. So what I'm going to do is change this sig into an mc.sig. And then I'm also going to throw in here at channels 10 or at chans 10. And this automatically turns this MC sig into a 10 channel sig object. You can see now all these sigs are 0, but when I turn this thing on, there'll be 10 channels of audio coming out here. And the cool thing is that what's coming out of mc.groove here is now also automatically 10 channels. We didn't set a channel count for MC Groove, and so it automatically goes up to 10 channels because it has a 10 channel input, which is pretty sweet. So what you can do now, I'm just going to adjust this a little bit, and instead of doing the toggle like this, I'm going to set this to be MC Thank you. I'm going to set this to be MC sig 1, and then multiply MC dot times tilde. Bit of a clumsy syntax there, but what are you going to do? It accomplishes the exact same thing. This accomplishes the exact same thing, except in a slightly different way. You'll see why in just a second. What I want to do now is use one of these new fancy automatic sort of math, what would you call these? They're messages to MC objects, and one of them is called Deviate. And what Deviate does is it assigns a slightly different random value to each input of a given MC object. So for example, if I do Deviate 0.11, this makes it so that every single one of these MC sig channels is going to be off by a factor of at most 0.1. So you can see, and actually something that's really sweet is the jit.cellblock object now works automatically with MC. I'm going to come in here and get rid of these scroll bars. The jit.cellblock object now actually works automatically with the MC object. So you can see here these first 8 channels, they're all within 0.1 of 1. And every time I hit this deviate, I get new values for each channel. So each of these 10 channels has a different value that's near but not quite 1. And now if I hit this toggle again, you can hear that they're all not quite playing at the same speed, but slightly off. And in fact, I'm going to hook this up just like this, cell 1, so that when I hit this toggle, they're all going to be slightly... I get slightly different values. And then I guess we could come in here, and instead of deviating by 0.1, we could deviate up to 1, so we'll get tons of randomness on the speed of all these grooves. And you can hear that the stereo spread on these is a little bit crazy, at least if you're listening with headphones. That's because we've gone straight from this 10 into this 2. And so what that's doing is actually taking, I think it takes each of the 10, I think it's just 5 and 5, 5 on the left, 5 on the right. I'm not totally sure. We can have a bit more control over that with an object called mc.mixdown. MC mixdown lets you actually pan channels according to some value that you yourself can specify. So if I do mc.mixdown at mc.mixdown 2, because we're mixing to 2 channels for my headphones, at pan control mode 1, which gives you a linear pan. We'll talk about all this stuff later, but for now, just take it for what it is. And I also need at auto gain 1. This is a nice feature if you're mixing, say, 1 million channels down together. Auto gain just applies a gain that is proportional to the number of channels that are coming in. So that if you just start to boost up to 20, 30, 40, 100 channels, you're hopefully going to have some kind of gain compensation for that using MC Mixdown. The next thing that I can do that's cool is adjust the pan. So the easiest thing I can do with pan is just do something like sig 0.5, and this just mixes everything right in the middle. So everything's coming straight down the middle. Still a little bit going on there. You can do some interesting things here, though. One of those is still going. If you change this to mc.sig and also give this at chans 10, we can actually give each one of these a slightly different pan. So I already showed you deviate. There's another very similar operator called, I think it's called spread it's called spread inclusive. Spread inclusive is going to take, if I do spread inclusive 0, 1, then it will assign to each one of these 10 channels a different number between 0. So I'm going to get back my jit.cell block. I'm going to get back my jit.cell block. And you'll see if I hit this, so right now all these are at 0.5, but if I hit spread inclusive, it starts at 0 and starts counting all the way up to 1 over the 10 channels. And this gives each one of those 10 a slightly different pan. Kind of a nifty stereo spread, actually. Okay, so this is already sounding pretty cool. What could we do next? Well, one thing we could do is, rather than just picking the same pitch every time, why don't we bring in our old friend K slider and then do something like MIDI to frequency and then divide by 261.6, which is roughly middle C. And then with this deviate, it's actually so this first number here is how much deviation. The second number here is what to deviate around. So we'll just do something like, we'll do pack FF, pack F 0.2, and then connect this to this pack, and then do deviate $2, $1, so that we can have we can control how much deviation here, and oops, we can control how much deviation here, say 0.2, and then each one of these will let us play. And then also, I guess we got to turn this toggle, so we'll do 0, 1 to turn this toggle off and then right back on. So every time we play one of these, we'll hear a note. It's pretty cool, no? It can get even cooler. I'll show you something I was messing around with earlier. So one thing that I found that sounds really cool is if you turn on, what's it called? Time stretching. Get out of here, Flux. If you turn on time stretching for groove so that you can control speed and pitch independently, and then deviate the pitches, but actually give all of the each of the voices a different speed, but adjust those speeds regularly. I'll show you what I mean. So we'll come down here, and first thing I'm going to do is turn on time stretch for this MC groove. So now we can use the pitch and the pitch control separate for from these time controls. So I'll make a message here. That's going to say pitch shift. No, sorry, it's going to say deviate 0.2 pitch shift $1. So this lets us shift. We're the same exact kind of idea as up here, except we're adding some random deviation to just the pitch. And now, rather than controlling the speed using deviation, I'm going to control the speed using one more of these cool operators, which is called, and now I guess I want this thing I want down here, huh? So this, I kind of want to go like so. So pack F02, okay, so it's going to be deviate $2. Yes, this looks good. I like this. Sweet. So up here, instead of deviation, I'm actually going to use something called subharmonic, which is just another way. All of these deviate, subharmonic, spread inclusive, and there's even a few more. All they do is let you use some simple math to give a different numeric value to each of the channels in your multi-channel, in your MC object. So if I do subharmonic, you start at a certain value and then start counting down using some harmonic relation between the parts. So for example, subharmonic 1.61 is going to just start stepping down from a speed of 1. Do I need this to be connected in any way to the actual value here? No, I really don't. So I'm just going to connect this like so. So we'll bang, get a new subharmonic, just so you see what those subharmonics look like. Let's do jit.cellblock. And I need to make a jit.cellblock snippet or something that doesn't look like that. So if I hit this subharmonic, you can see it steps down from 1 to 0.38, 0.24, 0. And there's a harmonic relation between each of these. Each of these is, looking at it, I can't quite tell exactly what the relationship between each one of these is. But each one is clearly small. I think we can all agree that each one is definitely smaller than the one that came before it. I don't know. It sounds cool. So let me turn this all on now. And I think if I just hit one of these. I actually think I want a bit more deviation than that. Let's try this. Yes, I'm quite confident that's what I wanted. This very intense horror movie sound. Okay, so that's that, and I'll show you there are a couple other cool settings that sound really cool if I do set jongly down here. I also felt like, okay, so for here, I tried a smaller deviation, but I think leaving the same harmonic spacing on, let me listen, but I found that you could get a really cool kind of like almost kick and then hat kind of sound just by hitting, yeah. But I think we get another octave down. Too far down. Maybe less deviation. Maybe I just set the mod to be slightly different. Was it like? Well, anyway, I thought that that kick especially sounded really interesting somehow in a way that I lack the sound design vocabulary to really describe. But in any case, that's kind of all I wanted to show you, was just kind of a flavor of the sort of stuff that you'll be able to do with MC. Obviously, there's lots more to talk about, but I think it's as good a starting place as any. So thanks for watching, and yeah, I'm excited to bring you guys some more of these in the days, or hopefully days, not weeks and months to come. Take it easy, and I'll see you in the next one.